Hey Patriots, welcome back to Patriot Life with Candace Keller. It's great to see you back again today. Just a reminder of our mantra, enough talk, enough tyranny, get involved, get educated, or get out of the way. So just want to remind you that we have a mission statement, which I haven't listed in a while, for Patriot America. In case this is the first time you've ever watched me, Patriot America is an organization that is like a four-legged table. We exist to, first of all, learn and be more informed about our U.S. Constitution, which is the foundation of our nation's, all of our law rests on that. To locate candidates to run for local public office in nonpartisan races, to position in each county a sheriff who is constitutional, because the sheriff is the most powerful office holder in the nation, in any state, and in the nation. And then, of course, to maintain in each county a patriot group that's going to move forward to elect candidates that are constitutional. This is how we're going to take back America. We're going to take back America by doing local. And I must admit, as a former legislator myself, when I first came up with this concept about local control with my team of attorneys, it didn't seem like a very exciting concept. But now, of course, after the last 12 months we've all lived through, we have realized we cannot really count on Washington, D.C. to do the right thing. We can't even really count on the legislature in the state to always do the right thing. So we have to look local, because local is where you're affected the most directly. That's why we've created our Patriot Pack. Now I'm going to show you my, comes in a cellophane packet. So I took it all apart for you so I can show it to you. And in our Patriot Pack that we can send to you, we've created for you the tools that you need to gain your local control and put it back in your own hands. One thing we're going to give you is a U.S. Constitution and Declaration of Independence. We have several scripts in here for you to use when you approach your school board or your city council or your township trustees or your county commissioners. Every county in Ohio has 3 commissioners that run the entire county. And they are very powerful, and they need to listen to you. And they make really big salaries, by the way, big salaries. In my county, they make $95,000 a year, and they do not work 5 days a week. So we have a script here for you to approach them and say, open the county. You have the power to create an ordinance and open our county. People are doing it all over the nation. School board, here's what you say to your school board to tell them that they cannot mandate anything to your children. School boards, I haven't even said this, school boards have 0 authority to quarantine your children. Did you know that? 0 authority. What are they, doctors? They're not doctors. The health director, none. 0. We're not living under public health emergency, but I'm already going down rabbit trails. We include a law enforcement card for you in the Patriot Pack. The law regarding mandatory face masks, which is completely illegal and is the illegal practice of medicine in all 50 states. And the law regarding vaccinations, mandatory vaccinations under emergency use only, completely illegal. And we are still under emergency use, by the way. The Patriot Pack includes Doctrine of the Lesser Magistrates, which we will send to you, along with the Ohio Constitution. If you live in another state, we won't send that to you. And The Art of War by Sun Tzu, which is a fabulous book. These are both skinny books, quick reads for all you busy young parents that I talk to all the time. So we send all of this to you. This entire packet is $35. This is everything you need to change your entire city or township. I'm telling you, everything you need. I have yet to face anybody who has been able to legitimately argue me down on any of the things that I have brought to them through our Patriot philosophy, through the doctrine book, and through the law. The law has the final say. And I keep waiting for somebody to really give me a run for my money, and so far I haven't met anybody. Now, I am a former legislator, but I'm not a lawyer. But I can read, and I do know what the Constitution says, and you have that same power that I have. So that's our mission statement. One thing I never mention hardly ever is if you want us to stay on our mailing list to know where we're going to be, because we travel a lot in Ohio, throughout Ohio, you can text a number with the words Patriot 76. If you text to the number, if you text Patriot 76 to the number 22828 on your phone, 22828, we will ask you for your email, and then from that point forward, then you'll have a schedule of everywhere that we're going to be. Now, out on the road, we're having a blast, by the way. Could I just say, we had it last Monday night. We appeared with Jenna Ellis, senior legal counsel to the president, and by president I mean Donald Trump. Jenna Ellis, Josh Mandel, amazing night with them. We are traveling Friday to Dark County, Ohio, Rossburg, Ohio. Voice of the Patriots is meeting Friday, November the 5th at 7 o'clock at the North Star Community Center. I'm coming up there with John Adams. Isn't that a great name? If my name was John Adams, I'd totally run for office. He is actually running for Secretary of State against Frank LaRose, who thinks there was no illegal anything that happened in the last election. Incredible. John Adams is a former legislator, and he'll be appearing with me and speaking about how we need paper ballots, in-person voting, voter ID, picture ID, all that. He's amazing. And so, and then on November the 29th, which is the Monday after Thanksgiving, the Southwest Ohio Senate debate is taking place at the Westchester Nazarene Church in Westchester, Ohio. That will be a huge evening. Come early to get a good seat. There is no admission fee, of course. It starts at 7. The Ohio Press Network will be hosting. Jack Windsor will be doing the questioning. And you get to find out where these guys stand on some issues. We have one good candidate, I believe, running for the Senate. The rest I'm watching closely. But anyway, at any rate. Okay, we have not talked about House Bill 248 in the last couple of podcasts, so I want to talk to you about that. In Ohio, thankfully, we have a very courageous legislator named Representative Jennifer Gross from over in Westchester, in the Liberty Township, Westchester Township area, close by me, and she introduced a bill back in March. What is that, 9 months ago, 8 months ago? Amazing. House Bill 248, which is the Medical Freedom Bill. Now, Jennifer Gross, the representative, she introduced the bill alone. She did seek a co-introducer, but nobody had the courage, so she introduced it by herself. She is a nurse practitioner and is a retired lieutenant colonel in the Air Force, and so she's a very courageous woman to begin with. She introduced a bill, the Medical Freedom Bill, which states that no vaccinations are mandatory in the state of Ohio at all, in any industry, line of work, company, school, anywhere. It's a great bill. Of course, the left hates it, and of course, hospitals hate it, and of course, Big Pharma hates it. Now, I'm going to go into a little detail now, which I have not, I've only done it on this podcast, I think, once before, and it's something that I call the circle of corruption. I created this myself, this idea. But it's what I saw happen in the legislature, and as I'm a seasoned legislator now. I passed the most rigid pro-life bill in the nation when I passed the heartbeat bill in April of 2019. So I know how hard it is to pass law. And I will tell you that when you try to do what's right by the people, you're going to come up against something called lobbyists. And lobbyists are lawyers, usually, almost always, who work on behalf of companies to get laws passed to benefit industries or companies. Now, they're not all bad because everybody has an interest, but they have sort of a negative connotation to them. First of all, the word lobby comes from the guys who hang out in the lobby right outside the State House chambers, which I saw daily at the State House. There's literally a lobby, and they hang out, and they talk to you on the way in and try to get you to vote a certain way. So the circle of corruption works like this. I'm going to use a hospital, for example, just any random hospital. So the hospital is at the top. So every other year in the General Assembly, it is the law in every state to pass a budget. In Ohio, it has to be passed in the June 30th of every odd-numbered year. So, for instance, our budget we're living under right now is from 2019. So the budget is passed, and in Ohio, probably, I don't know, I'd say at least $10 billion goes into the medical industry for hospitals. We have so many state-funded hospitals in the state of Ohio. I'm not sure of the number, but it's billions of dollars that go to the hospitals. And that's to keep them running. Hospitals are funded by state money, federal money, obviously through Medicaid and Medicare. and through private health insurance. So money's coming in from a lot of different places. Most hospitals are considered to be 501c3 nonprofits, but they do receive state funding under what's categorized as a grant. That's how they get it without it being, and stay under the 501c3 laws. So the money is released by the governor and the legislature. The legislature passes the budget after 6 months of going around and around. Sign it, and we send it over to the governor on June 30th. He signs it, and then the money is released to the hospitals. The hospitals then hire lobbyists to push forth legislation that benefits hospitals financially. And they do that through lobbyists pressuring legislators who then vote in favor of the lobbyists, who then make sure that lobbyist money comes to the legislators to keep them in their seats, which puts the legislators back at the top setting the budget. So I'm hoping I'm making that clear to you. It's like a circle of money, lobbyists, legislators, lobbyists, legislators, money. It works like that, like a circle. And I call it the circle of corruption. I actually invented this myself. This is why right now House Bill 248 is stuck. When you go look at the campaign finance reports of those in-house leadership in the Ohio State House, Speaker of the House is Bob Cupp. Right under him is the pro tem Tim Ginter. And there are several committee chairmen. So the Health Committee chairman is Scott Lips, and he is now handling House Bill 248. As soon as House Bill 248 was put out, it came under enormous opposition from hospitals, big pharma, medical facilities, medical professionals, because it fights you getting a mandatory vaccination. Now, vaccinations are totally your business. If you want to get vaccinated, do it. If you don't want to, don't do it. But forced vaccinations is a huge moneymaker for healthcare. Not only the hospitals, but Big Pharma specifically. Obviously, I don't have to explain that to you. Big Pharma is making, Pfizer had the biggest, hugest year ever last year and the year before. Biggest, gigantic, huge. So, and all of the organizations that manufacture and make vaccinations, make vaccines. So, House Bill 248 and Jennifer Gross by herself, has faced enormous opposition from the powers that be, that being usually your legislator. And go look at your legislator's campaign finance reports online. I mentioned Bob Cupp because he received the most money from hospitals and big pharma. And everyone in leadership under him, there's 6 members under him that serve in leadership. They get gigantic money from hospitals and big pharma. And guess who the third highest of all of them? You had the Ohio House Speaker, Senate President Matt Huffman, another total anti-freedom person, and then the Health Committee Chairman. Scott Lips is the third highest receiver of lobbyist money. Why do you think that is? It's because they want to prevent you from having the medical freedom to make your own decisions for money. Did I just say that? This is for money. For money. All you have to do is go follow the money. So when Jennifer Gross introduced the bill in March, it's the law in Ohio that every law has to have 3 hearings. You introduce the bill at the first hearing. Second hearing, you hear support. Third, which is called proponent. The third hearing, you hear opposition, which is the opponents. And you can have anywhere from 3 to 100 hearings. Usually 3. 3 is significantly plenty. This is such a hot issue in Ohio because it affects all 11.7 million people that hundreds and hundreds of testimonies came in support of House Bill 248, overwhelmingly supportive of medical freedom. On the other side is, guess who? Big Pharma, hospitals, the gang. Those who are going to benefit financially from you getting vaccinated when you don't want to. Do you see where I'm going with this? I'm trying to explain this as easily as I can for you. It's not complicated really at all. It's just that you've been unaware of it, and now I'm telling you about it, and this is why this is happening. So now we've been through, I think, 9 or 10 hearings. There's been so much testimony, it's unbelievable. And so the tactics of House leadership, specifically Speaker Cupp and Scott Lips from over here in Warren County, is delay, delay, delay. Delay, delay, delay. Now, because they don't want, so week after week is passing. You're losing your job. You're being forced to make these decisions. And what is the legislature doing? Okay, they went on summer recess from like June 20th until Labor Day while you're losing your job. If I were you and I was losing my job with these ridiculous things happening, I would literally go to the house of my legislator, knock on the door politely and say, I'm losing my job. What are you doing? Why are you here? Why aren't you passing House Bill 248 and setting me and the entire state free? You have the power to set us free. House Bill 248 makes all of our problems go away in Ohio. And what is the legislature doing? Nothing. They're doing nothing. So today, it's early November when we're doing this podcast. March to November, they've done nothing. They've done nothing. You have to pressure them. Find out their phone number. If you don't have it, email me. I'll give it to you. Call them twice a day and say, if you don't if you don't sign the discharge petition to pass House Bill 248, I will vote for anyone other than you come May. May of 2022 is when 100% of them are on the ballot. 100% of them. If they don't sign the discharge petition, they're not in favor of your medical freedom. You understand that? Put them on the spot. It's time to go on offense. It's time to go for the jugular. They're forcing you to lose your job because of a personal health decision. They need to be held. Your legislator, your state representative needs to be held accountable. If I were you, I'd run against them. I'd absolutely run. If they don't sign the discharge petition, run against them or find somebody to run against them. If nobody runs against them, vote Democrat, because what you have on your hands is a Democrat. And I've never voted Democrat. I'm just saying, you have to apply the pressure, and they're feeling the pressure, and they hate it. They don't like it. They don't like it that you're paying attention, and they are very afraid right now because of what you're doing. But you need to keep on pressuring them daily. I'd call them twice a day. I'd go to their house. I'd confront them. They're elected by 115,000 people. That's not that many people. 50,000 of you need to knock on their door and say, losing my job, what you doing? You're getting paid $65,000 a year. You worked, 70 days last year? And you can't sign a discharge petition for me? And I'm losing my job and my house and my income? Hold them accountable. I think I've covered everything I need to. Sorry I got so hot, but I'm really tired of good people losing their jobs over this ridiculous, lazy behavior of the Ohio legislature. I'll see you next time on Patriot America. Thanks for joining me.